You know, the problem with this business is a lot of handicappers, after they win a big play, they show up the next day singing, dancing, celebrating. I don't get it. Last night, Monday night, I cashed in with my highest rated play of the season, only the seventh 39 play I've ever had in the NFL, and now a perfect 7-0 with them as Detroit delivered against Chicago. I said the Lions would win by 10. They won by 11. The public jumped all over that game, pushing the price from 5.5 up to 7, even 7.5, depending on where you were shopping for it. But I told you they would definitely remain a 39 play, and they remain my choice in that game. And you know, listen, not to be nonchalant about it, but here's the bottom line. It was a rare play. It was a 30 dime release. And as you know, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15 dimes. And again, not only am I 7-0 with those plays in the NFL, but I won my only college football 30 dime release in the BCS title game last January when I gave you Auburn over Oregon. The reason it was a 30 dime play was because I felt it was going to win in the first place. Now, could have lost, and I would have shown up and done this video today, acted the exact same way. Because, guys, if you don't know me by now, let me just remind you that I don't celebrate the wins. I don't lament the losses. A lot of guys in this business, like I said, will jump up and down and celebrate, and you'll hear them talk and brag about winning a big play day after day after day. It's business as usual. I've always found that as a gambler and as a handicapper, that if you allow yourself to experience the emotional highs and the devastating lows of this business, that you lose focus. You're unable to find the next money-making opportunity that presents itself in front of you. You know, that winner last night capped another winning week. It's been a hell of a almost 4-month run for me. It's been a great football season for me as well. But you know what? It's Tuesday. It's the start of another betting week. There's baseball to be played tonight. And that's where my focus is. Now, do I have as big of a play tonight? No, of course not. I have a 5-dime play on the side selection between Detroit and Texas. And I'm going to give you a play here on the total as well in just a moment in that contest. Interesting, though, last night, now this is a guy who just won a lot of money and won you a lot of money with a big play on the Lions last night. I was thoroughly unimpressed with Detroit in that contest. I mean, you let a bad Chicago offense come into your home and you allow them to put up 359 yards on the board. You allow a Chicago team that could barely hold on against Carolina at home the week before to come into your home and take a 10-7 halftime lead. Not impressive at all. You allowed Jay Cutler to look great back in the pocket, 28 for 38, 249 yards. You allow Matt Forte to have a second straight big game on the ground, 22 carries, 115 yards. Again, I was not impressed by the Lions at all. And, you know, you've got two 5-0 teams in that division. And no ifs, ands, or buts. Who is the better team? I can't wait until those two meet. The public is enamored right now because of Detroit. If you go and scroll down here on my webpage, you'll see my analysis about last night's game against the Bears. Part of it at the beginning is I said, you know, the Lions have gone from being the team that was hunting everybody else in hopes of having a winning season, in hopes of ending a long playoff drought. Instead, now they are the hunted. And that's a difficult position for teams to be in, especially when they're young teams, inexperienced teams, and that's where the Lions find themselves right now. This is the third straight unimpressive game for them as far as I'm concerned. You fall down 20-0 at Minnesota, you have to rally. Okay, that's nice, but what are you doing falling down 20-0? You fall down 27-3 at Dallas and you win in overtime. Again, what are you doing falling down 27-3? That, to me, is not the bloodlines you want for a championship or a potential contender in the NFL or any sport for that matter. So I think the jury is still out there. Hey, quick word about the NBA. You saw that first 2 weeks of the strike season have already been canceled. You know, David Stern is a bully. That's all there is to it. He is the bully. Now, if David Stern happens to be on your side, you want him to be a bully. And he's a master manipulator of the media. And let's face it, the players play right into his hands as well because the public, I'm talking the fans, we all know the players are overpaid. We've got clowns like LeBron James and all the fiasco from him a year ago. You know, it's just one negative piece of light and publicity after another for the NBA players. And plus, David Stern knows that he has owned and kicked Billy Hunter's ass from here to eternity in previous negotiations, okay? So, of course, David Stern is going to play hardball. It doesn't matter that the owners are selfish pigs and just as much money driven as the players. It does not matter. But I'll tell you something interesting. Back in '98, when we had the big NBA strike where they came back finally and had a 50-game season starting in February, in this business, up until then, NBA was king. Oh, NBA was much bigger than college basketball. I mean, you had the big, what was it? Was it the TNT or the TBS doubleheaders back in those days? You had so much NBA action on TV, non-pay TV as well. But gambling-wise, everybody loved the NBA. But then suddenly, when the NBA disappeared from November through the end of January, it was like college basketball became king in terms of gambling. I've never seen the NBA come back in terms of gambling interest since then. College basketball is still king. Hey, listen, college basketball season kicks off November 15th. We're going to start having all those Mid-American Conference games, Conference USA games, all those games on national TV on Tuesdays and Wednesdays soon. We're going to have football every single day of the week. The NBA, out of sight, out of mind. Mavericks upset of the Miami Heat, great series. Out of sight, out of mind. That's what the NBA risks. It's doing to itself. You would think they would have learned their lesson from the past or seen the debacle of the NFL near strike and the negative hit the players took in publicity. But the NFL is almost like they've got a bulletproof vest, as do the players as well, because everybody wants to see the NFL back in action. The NBA, it's like, if it doesn't play, that's okay. We've got college basketball on the horizon. Okay, let's take a look at tonight's game between Detroit and Texas. How is this game priced at 8.5 for the total? I don't understand. I mean, don't you have to take the under in this contest at 8.5? I mean, it's not like the Tigers are scoring any runs here. They have stranded 9 and 13 runners, respectively, in the first 2 games of this series, okay? They've scored a total of 5 runs in the series. Now, of course, Texas has scored 10 runs, right? But Nelson Cruz has personally accounted for 6 of those runs himself. You've got Doug Fister on the hill, and he was simply phenomenal in Game 5 against the Yankees on the road in a do-or-die situation last week, and since being acquired from the Seattle Mariners in 5 Comerica Park starts this season, he only went 4-0 with a 0.98 earned run average. You've got Colby Lewis, who was very good in Game 3 at Tampa last week for the Rangers, really the pivotal game in that series. Gave up 1 hit. It was a homer in 6 innings of work, otherwise unscathed. And Lewis, of course, has a great postseason history as well. The guy has been money in the bank in postseason action. So why not take the under here? And you also have 2 bullpens that have done exceptionally well in this series. Heck, do you know the Rangers in 2 games, 12 2/3 innings of scoreless ball? And again, with their starter, Colby Lewis, 4-0 with a 1.67 earned run average and 5 career postseason starts. I think you look for another low-scoring 4-2, 3-2 game tonight, and you take the under at 8.5. I don't understand in this one how this price is at 8.5 instead of 7 or 7.5. So the under would be the free play. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again on Wednesday.